I'm here to talk about a national collaborative that's called 100K and 10. And 100K and 10 is, well, first of all, the name of it is its goal. And so the goal of the initiative is to recruit, develop, retain 100,000 excellent STEM teachers in the next 10 years. So it's really focused on STEM teacher development. And it's an initiative that was spearheaded by the Carnegie Corporation, which is actually a private foundation. It's not a corporation. I'm not sure. Their name always confuses everybody. But one of the most preeminent education funders in the country. And they started to think about, after a sort of call to action by President Obama in his first State of the Union address, to create more excellent STEM teachers, or as a country we're obviously going to continue to fall behind as it relates to graduating college and career ready students who could compete in a global marketplace. So they came together and they built this platform that is a multi-sector national collaborative effort to invest in and create or expand programs that develop excellent STEM teachers, or retain them in the classroom, or give them additional development. And also to build the movement. That's the third area. So the first area is retain, the second area is, the first area is recruit, the second area is retain, and the third area is build the movement. And so when they first got started, they had a handful of funders, which I'll talk about in a minute, and a handful of what I refer to as implementing partners. So the organizations across the country who are actually doing the work to develop STEM teachers. And the partners range from universities to state offices where it can be the governor's office or a state senator's office, or organizations like Teach for America are part of the effort. So any type of organization, whether private sector, nonprofit, university, school systems or districts, all of those, any and all of those are welcome to come to the table. Museums, science museums, things like that. As long as they are able to make a commitment focused on how they're going to develop or recruit teachers, they can apply to become a partner. And one of the things that we really liked about this initiative is that the initiative, being spearheaded by Carnegie, partnered with the University of Urban Education in Chicago, I think that's the name of it, who's doing all of the R&D, so to speak. So they have developed a rigorous set of criteria so they can analyze among the partner organizations who would like to become a member partner, do they have the capacity as an organization to deliver what they say they're going to deliver? So how do we know that what they're doing in STEM teacher development is going to be effective? Do they have results that they can demonstrate? So just to become a partner, there's a process that organizations delivering STEM teacher development programs have to go through to become a partner. The value for them, once they become a partner, is access to the whole funder network. And I believe at the moment there's about, I want to say maybe 30 funders, and more than $20 million has been raised in a collective that's available to these organizations for the commitments that they've stated. And again, all the commitments are focused on STEM teacher recruitment, retention, and development. And so for us, when we heard about this, we have struggled with, just in Arizona and in the other states that we operate in, which are Arizona, Colorado, and to some degree Texas, how to understand which programs are yielding the best results or have the potential to have the greatest impact. And as corporate people, we're very broad and not very deep. So our expertise on things, is not very deep. We're not education experts, and so we need a way to be able to understand which of these programs is best for us to invest in, and will make the most use of our investment. So the great thing about this is you're not committing your funding to the collaborative or to Carnegie. You don't pay anything to the collaborative. So if you want to turn to page 8 in the document, this is a really good summarization on the funding side. So these are the reasons that we joined. So all you do is pledge how much you're going to invest in STEM teacher development. So for us, we pledged to invest $1.5 million over 3 years in the states of Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico. So we're specific about our geography, we're specific about our time frame. And then if you look at the second one, which is select, funders choose whichever organizations meet their own criteria. So we look on the 100kin10 system among all of the applications. We narrow them down to organizations that are working in the states that we're focused on, and we decide where our funding goes, and we pay it directly to those fund recipients. And so some of the partners in Arizona are ASU, the College of Education, the University of Arizona STEM Education Center, and they have a program called Master IP, which is a retention program for students who want, or for teachers who want to further their education, that provides a unique internship component with business. And there's a handful of other partners.
Science Foundation Arizona, I think.
Yep, they were just accepted in the last round of partner nominations, Science Foundation Arizona STEM Network. And they've got a teacher pathway program that they're going to be submitting for funding. So once partners, not funding partners, implementing partners, get into the system, they can fill out an application at any time. There's rolling deadlines, and the other valuable thing about it, from both a funding perspective and a implementing partner perspective, is that there's ongoing feedback and dialogue, both between funders and organizations doing the work, and also between funders, to try and realize greater impact by working together as national funders on things where we have common interests. So we have found some potential funders who are interested in investing in work in Arizona. So it potentially helps Arizona organizations access funds that they wouldn't otherwise have been able to access. It's a great way to share information and learn in a real-time basis about where others have experienced success and what hasn't worked so well. It's the applicants, organizations are given direct feedback by the 100kin10 team, or directly by funders if funders agree to do that. It's not required. So organizations are able to adapt their commitments and shift them to what funders are looking for. So it's really, from a national perspective, a regional perspective, and even a local perspective, we've found so far just tremendous value out of being part of the dialogue of how to address the need for better STEM education teachers in our schools. So, and again, we're completely focusing our funding and developing the direct relationships with the recipient organizations. 100kin10 just serves as a tremendous backbone resource in coordination of effort, and really you feel like you're working toward that common goal of 100,000 excellent STEM teachers over 10 years, and they're measuring all of that on an annual basis. So there's usually a nomination period in the fall of each year, usually around September timeframe. So implementing organizations can apply during that application window, and it's a fairly short application to be considered as a partner. And then once those organizations are accepted as partners, then they can start to submit funding applications. And anyone can come on board as a funder at any time. All you have to do is make a pledge. And the last thing I will say is that there's been, so Freeport-McMoRan is not, we're not a consumer-facing business. So for us, necessarily sort of brand recognition or marketing of our name is not a tremendous driver for us. But it is important to us when it means we can build influential and strategic relationships with people. And sometimes that's the private foundation community that has a very strong voice and can be an advocate for us in some situations. So for example, the Gates Foundation is a partner. I've already mentioned Carnegie Corporation. A lot of influential funding partners. The Federal Department of Education, I had the privilege of participating in a meeting with the Secretary of Education and kind of putting Freeport on the map in some of these discussions around STEM education. As an industry, we get left out of the discussion many times. People don't think of mining, don't think of the needs that mining has in terms of workforce development. So we like to keep that on people's radar, and we also like to make sure that those influential types of people know that, you know, we're operating in a responsible way and investing in our communities and investing in the issues that are at the forefront of our country. So anyway, my point after that very long-winded explanation is that there's a lot of recognition in this for funders as well in a lot of different ways. And again, you're doing what if you fund STEM initiatives, STEM teacher development in particular, it's a great way to be part of a broad learning community around that issue and also get some recognition and visibility for the efforts.
Is there a basic, minimum pledge?
Nope.
Okay. So anybody have any questions?